Press it. All right. We'll see if a couple more people get on. And if not, just go ahead and get on with it. As a matter of fact, how about we go ahead and go? Because anybody who wants to hear it can always go back and listen later. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a story. It was, I want to say 11 years ago. I was still at the first little storefront location I opened up. That, I was still at that place. I had opened it up a year prior, 2006. So 2007, I'm still there. I'm, hanging on by the skin of my teeth, and business has picked up a little bit since I first opened it. It had grown some, but it still wasn't where it needed to be. I wasn't really profitable at the time. So one day, a young lady comes by. She called me. I guess she had gone through looking for personal trainers, and she had this bright idea that she would link up with personal trainers, and that would be a good way to grow her business. Now, turned out she was into a multi-level marketing company called Melaleuca. Now, Melaleuca is run by some Mormons, and you gotta, those Mormons are slick. You gotta sometimes peep some of the Mormon stuff, because they have a lot of jewels that they hold back. Look at this. Listen to the name, Melaleuca. Peace. What's happening? Melaleuca. So Melaleuca was a line of cleaning products, and they were all like biodegradable, and they were good quality stuff, but it was high. And if you became a customer or whatever, you had to buy a minimum of $150 a month worth of cleaning supply. And it's like, damn, you don't even spend that on Clorox and Tide right now, But either way, she came and sold me on the idea. She told me, she pulled up in a Mercedes, so that, this is how we get fooled by trinkets and gadgets and things. So I'm already thinking, well, she must be successful in some form or fashion. She said she left corporate America to do this, and blah blah blah. The truth probably is that she lost her job somewhere, and she needed something else to try to make ends meet. So she just went full head first into this thing. So she come to me and present her thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it out. And I signed up. I paid a little money, and I started telling my clients about it. I get some of my clients to sign up, and they buy some products and so forth. But after a while, it's like, man, this is ridiculous. It's just too much money. Now I made a couple of dollars, but it wasn't worth the effort. And this is what I the revelation I had in 2007. Oh, let me tell you another part to it. I knew another personal trainer, and I called him, and I tried to pitch it. That brother shut me down so fast, and I was kind of sore with him about that. Peace, peace. Hola, mi hermano. ¿Cómo está? I was a little, I felt some type of way, as they say. He shut it right. He's like, nah. He said, I ain't interested. Now, if I had been using my common sense, I would have never got involved in the first place. Because the first time I got involved with MLM was in 1997 in college. 1997. There was a thing called Excel Communications. If you're old enough, you might have heard of it. And this old bald-head white guy, middle-aged white guy, I don't know how he stumbled up on me and my homeboy Hawk. I don't know how we learned about him or he learned about us, but he sold us on this whole, and we was like, man, we can do this and we can do that, and we back at this time, we like 20, 21 years old. So, like, hell, why not? And we ain't make a dime on that shit. Running around trying to get people to, and here's my point. And this is what I finally came to the realization of in 2007. The energy that I was putting into trying to tell people about those products and build up my downline. I mean, it's the same thing. It don't matter it's the same thing. Build up your downline. If you only get this amount of people, and if they only get this amount of people, you're going to become a director. You're going to be da-da-da-da-da. What I learned was, man, I'm devoting too much time to this mess, and I'm not putting enough energy into looking at, hey, I've got a space here that I pay for monthly. I have a business that I've established. I have a few patrons. What can I get out of those three components? What can I get and maximize them? But see, at the time, because things weren't going, as well as would have liked them to be, my ear was a lot more sensitive to anything coming talking about, I have the answer. So instead of trusting in myself and trusting in the fact that I would make it, because of course this was my first time doing something of that caliber, but it wasn't my first time, having my own type of, business, although this was my first time being a full-time business owner. Big difference. So I'm panicking a little bit. When I finally got out of that mess a few months later and really just started focusing on my business, guess what? I ended up leaving that spot and going to get me a bigger gym. Now, when I got to that place, of course, it was the scuffling trying to accommodate for the bigger size, which means I had bigger rent, bigger bills, so forth. But things took off from there with me focusing on improving myself, improving how I utilize what I already have. Using my own energy. And see, this is very, very metaphysical, because there's no point in us studying these things if I can't apply it to every aspect of my existence, from the most magnificent to the most mundane. It doesn't matter. That's why I coined these classes common sense metaphysics. See, turn it. Is it too cold? What I learned back then, too, through my time in that business was, you know, you need to have some business sense as far as learning. Okay, I'll give it to you. As far as learning how to conduct business properly. That's from customer service all the way to peace. That's from customer service. Is it cold? All right. That's from customer service all the way to the quality of the service you deliver. See, customer service is just basic old treat people how you want to be treated, and be attentive, listen, care. Those is basic stuff, you're supposed to. Customer service is just another fancy word of saying I got some home training. See, a lot of people just ain't got none. They don't get it. This stuff is not rocket science, but improving the quality of the service you put out is equally as important. You got to keep looking at yourself, and you got to keep working. That's why I enjoy bodybuilding. See, bodybuilding is not about, if I've got great arms, I'm just going to keep on working my arms and make them look better. Bodybuilding is about finding your flaws. The best bodybuilders are those who constantly work at their flaws to make everything on their body look even. It's about symmetry. Bodybuilding is about symmetry. You don't want to just go around. So many dudes like to work their chest and they got little weak legs. But you have to work your legs as hard as you work your chest. You got to work your triceps as hard as you work your biceps, because you don't want to have any glaring weaknesses and no glaring strengths either. It's about being able to present a complete package. And that's the way you should look at whatever you're doing. What are my weaknesses? And if I put more time into developing my weaknesses, then I don't need to search for nothing outside of me. Nothing. Because I am my greatest asset. And I hope this is not breaking up. I hope this is coming through clear. Because this is a powerful message. It's simple, but it's powerful. I am my greatest asset. Nothing else. That's what I figured out. The more I keep developing me, keep developing what I have access to, then it is what we call in metaphysics your light getting brighter. Now, what happens when you got a bright light on at night? Things want to come running into it, and hell, you even have bugs go on kamikaze missions trying to run up to that light. Okay? So, if you can't take this stuff and make it work across the board, then it's for naught. It's all in vain. I learned that I've always been very, very creative. Very creative. But I learned that to be in business, creativity is not enough. And it's not like I'm the master of, blah, 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 but I pay attention. I do my best to learn from my mistakes. And, you can't just, especially now, everything's very, very competitive. You can't be sloppy. You can't half-ass do things. You can't not invest in yourself. It's just like if you don't want to buy no book, if you don't want to ever pay for a class, if you don't want to ever pay for access to information, and you want everything to be, then your life will reflect the way that you conduct yourself. You conduct yourself, cheap, and you will always attract just, you always attract that same energy, just to put it that way. Always. You know, if I put more attention into where I see my weaknesses are. If my weakness is budgeting money, that's what I'm gonna work on. Just like on my body, my calves are a weakness. When I was really training, it was, calves 5 times a week. Standing in the bathroom doing calf raises and all types of, because it's a weakness on the body. And I knew that when when you posing, your calves play a big role in making your body look complete. Same science. All this stuff is common sense. Common sense metaphysics. You know what's so crazy about all this is I used to get so mad at my mama, always telling me to use some common sense. You got all that book sense, but you need to use some damn common sense. It made me so, angry up until my adulthood. And how ironic it is that I'm on here talking about anything related to common sense, because I ain't want to hear nothing about that damn word. But look, this is what I want y'all to understand. Part of the luxury of getting older is that you're supposed to get wiser. And your wisdom gives you discernment. Discernment means how to judge. Judging not to condemn, but judging to protect your own ass. Discernment, how to look at things and separate the wheat from the tare. That's why you ought to be studying, because it will develop your faculties to see what is there and what ain't there. And then you become the master, because you are taking control over, whether I'm going to participate in this, or I'm going to put my energy there, or I already see that this ain't right. That's an invaluable, priceless trait and asset to have. It's the ability to discern. And the discernment starts with yourself. The discernment starts with you. Unfortunately, our foray into the world of metaphysics has amounted to a crutch in some regards, because it gives us the license to say that whatever I find as a deficiency is, I'm just going against the grain and I ain't got to do it that way, and I don't want all this. But if you walk around with a foot stuck up your ass all the time, then obviously maybe there needs to be a different approach to things. I'm not talking to nobody, I'm talking to myself. You have to be like, man, we say this quote all the time, but I don't know, sometimes we don't really pick it up. Einstein said the definition of insanity is to do this, and he's not the only person who has tackled this. That the definition of insanity is to do the same thing repeatedly and to expect a different outcome. Now, I can tell myself all I want, that I'm this and I'm that, but it should reflect in how I approach everything. I take pride in this. I do this class. I put it up on the website where people can download it. There's a sister in New York who's very supportive, and she I mean, as soon as I sent the email that the class was up on the website, I mean, before I even got back to the, to that actual, because I went to another email, another, what you call them, she had already paid for the class. So she she emailed me about a day later and said that she had paid for the class, but she couldn't get access to it. I'm driving. I stop. I see the email. I stop. I pull over. I email her back immediately. Okay. I tell her I'm gonna have it worked out in 48 hours. I call my man. That's my web man. Now see, let me the relationship I keep with him. He told me, you refer somebody to get their website done and I'll shoot you this. I said, I don't need that shit. I don't need you to give me nothing. I said, I don't mind referring people. I said, what I want to be is I want to be the nigga that's at the front of the motherfucking line whenever I call. See, everywhere I go, I expect preferential treatment. Take it however you like it. But that's how I want things. I always pay my barbers more than everybody else so that when they happy to see me coming, take their time, line my shit up right. Although I'm rough right now, but when I go, I be right. Because I want to be the nigga at the front of the damn line. So for me, with that relationship with him, that means that when one of my people got a problem, and when I call, I want my shit taken care of. Because I want them to know that I take them serious and I appreciate their patronage. You know why? Because I know how to do business. I know how to grow a business. It ain't no rocket science. You ain't got to be the smartest, deepest motherfucker. Sometimes it's just treating people right. You know how many people email me and put comments on videos about, oh, Brother Jamal, I'm happy. I was so happy to get my book. I've ordered books from other people and other things, and I never get my shit. And then we lambast people about, people don't support this and that. I learned to look at myself. And if enough people ain't supporting at the moment, guess what? There's an old book in the Bible called the Book of Job. Nigga translation, job. Yeah, I have one of those things. Job. I don't plan to be there forever. You best believe that. Sovereignty is always the order of the day. But common sense. Common sense. I'm gonna work, with what I got. But long story short, or long story longer, I got with my web dude. The brother got everything straightened out. And if you want to, if you need your website, you check out the billminergroup.net. It's either the billminergroup.net or the billminergroup.com. Young brother, taken care of. She gets her stuff. Happy. Everybody's happy. We keep on trucking. We build trust that way. We build trust through interactions. We build relationships through positive interactions. I can talk you to death. I can talk a good game. And best believe me, I can talk game with the best of them. Because I am game. But at the end of the day, gotta deliver. You have to look at yourself and And sometimes you got to have somebody in your circle who you have enough respect for. They can tell you. For me, I'm thankful. I have a wife who's I don't always want to hear the truth from, but she tells me the truth, and me being uh, very stubborn, you know, sometimes I have to step away, you know, be mad, and I'll come back and think about it. It's like, man, uh, that was right, you know, you know. Um, and what happens is every time I can kind of subdue my ego enough to hear truth, it's like I grow exponentially. And man, I'm telling you, this is how you be successful. And this is how you take metaphysics and apply it in your life. Common sense metaphysics. We're heavy on the metaphysics and we're low common sense. But let one of us, you know, spend a nickel, spend a dime, spend a penny. Oh man, we become Rockefellers. I want the world. But you know, I don't care how deep we get. Reciprocity is a thing of chance. It's not a whim. It's a real law. The law of reciprocity. You know, people are always getting what they deserve. You know, so you know, you put out what you expect. I expect respect. I expect it. I demand respect. I'm not dealing with disrespect. I ain't dealing with it because I've earned the right to be held in a certain light. Thus, I give respect. I respect. I give respect because damn it, I demand it back. Life is not as complicated as we make it. Yeah, it gets hard. Yeah, it gets challenging. Yeah, we're not always the best people. I'm not always the best person. I'll be the first to tell you that. You know, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to it never was hard. Never has been hard. We're hard-headed. Life is not hard, it's hard-headed. We don't learn. We don't observe, we don't pay attention, you know. And for that, you know, we have to go around in circles. Turn. Warm. Okay, there you go. That better? Yeah, so I'll give you the phone in a minute. So tonight, where my thing at? I don't know where I wrote that down at. Oh, there it is. Tonight, this evening. Yes. Tonight we'll be in Dallas, Texas at Fitness 360. That's at 4312 Live Oak Street. Again, that's Dallas, Texas. 75204. 75204 will be at Fitness 360. That's FITNZ 360. And that's at 4312 Live Oak Street. We're starting at 7. This is part 2 of the 3-class series, Common Sense Metaphysics. Tonight's focus is the Kabbalah of language. The Kabbalah of language. This is not an attempt to show off how much I know and to try to convince you of how much you don't know. Is purely what it says, common sense metaphysics. So that means, how can you use it in your common everyday life? How can you be doing things that are, stop it, boy, phenomenal, present phenomenal, magnificent things, but they are your everyday mundane life? Well, that's what we're going to show you. Language should, because you use it. No. You need it. So you use language, so learn it. Now, the English language is a scatter. You know, stop repeating what you hear other people say and just learn how to just study. You know, funny, somebody on the Black Magic channel, they put up this video about they were talking about David Icke and, you know, and so forth. And I left a comment about it's Kabbalah. Kabbalah explains quantum. Here comes some potato foot ass, tobacco chewing ass motherfucker, get on there talking about, oh, and that was all stolen from Kemet. We all know it's based on the Kabbalion. Now see, here's my thing. What did that contribute to anything? Nothing. It was a person who really doesn't know what Kabbalah is, although Kabbalah is a person. See, because a person who has a clue of what Kabbalah is will never make an asinine statement like that. There's no such thing as there's nothing somebody created no, Kabbalah is you. The problem is you think everything that's intellectual is not you because you think you're stupid. So anything that has an air or a hint of being intellectual, we then give it, oh, that's some European and that's some, so because you don't feel good about yourself. Now I'm back. The problem is we truly have low self-esteem. We have low self-esteem, so we assume anything that's intellectual is not us. How can you call yourself God and you be separate from anything? You created everything. And Kabbalah is not something created by some so-called mystical Jews in the 11th or 12th century. Kabbalah is ancient. There is no creation of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is creation. But see, what it comes back, what it comes back to is not wanting to learn, not wanting to grow, being closed-minded, you know, and then shutting ourselves off from the victory that we say that we want. And the first victory I need to have is with me and everything I touch. I'm not settling for losing. So tonight, if you want to learn something in a way that I don't think is being taught, you know, because you know, there's only one me. Everybody has their own perspective to bring, so I'm just bringing mine. So if you want a perspective, not to say that anybody else's is wrong or that mine is right, or versa, it's just another perspective. If you want another perspective, one that is rooted in what you can do on a day-to-day basis. And see, some of the stuff, it'll be something you might have heard before, but I'm going to show you how it is actually an ancient system that was laid down. See how sometimes you stumble up on things and you have these breakthroughs, and you develop some type of ritual on your own, and you don't even realize you're tapping into something that's more powerful than you think. Because your greatest asset is you. That's Kabbalah 101. Kabbalah means reception. You receiving you. 4312 Live Oak Street, Fitness 360 is where we'll be tonight, 7 p.m. Common Sense Metaphysics. Tonight's focus is the Kabbalah of language. If you have questions, you can email me at info@mastersofthecosmos.com. The class will be available on the website for you to download. If you are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, you can download it. And you can also go there and get your copy of Lies Behind the Tithes. This is an introduction to Kabbalah. Tithing is a Kabbalistic principle. It has nothing to do with the preacher getting a new pair of gaiters, okay, or a new jet, or if you don't, nothing to do with that. It is a Kabbalistic principle. You need to understand what tithing is. Okay? Here. There you go. My son got one of my proof copies of the book, and he loves sitting there like he is reading it. Getting him trained early. So who's to say he's not reading it? Check. Okay. So I look forward to seeing y'all's face in the place for round 2. I'm gonna have my notes this time, hook or crook. And as always, this is Brother Jamal with mastersofthecosmos.com. And I'm reminding you to stay down. Oh, anybody got any questions before we go? I don't think so. So we're gonna wrap it up. Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com. Reminding you as always to stay down until you get up, and when you get up, stay down. Peace.